This one is actually crazy. The conversation that you guys are about to see is a conversation between me and one of my consultants, Grant. Now, I'm not going to keep this intro too long, but I do want to preface a few things to give you guys context before we get into the whole thing. First off, the most impressive fact about all of this is that Grant literally started OFM just a few weeks ago. I believe the exact date was December 29th, December 20th, something like that, but literally no more than a month. That is right, literally under a month. And you guys already saw the title and you saw how far he has gotten in this time. And one, I like to just say I am extremely proud of Grant, not just of him in specific, but of people that act like he does. I've never not seen him inside of a weekly call. I've never not heard from him. He's always been in contact. He's always asking questions. He's the definition of if you actually implement the information given, just like the program that I have, results will follow. I mean, I know some of you guys are even stuck in outreach for 3 months, 4 months long, let alone surpassing $10,000 a month in less than 3 weeks. I mean, what he's done is absolutely insane, and I'm not surprised, to be honest. He's done exactly what I've asked him to. He's implemented everything that he can, and the results, they show for it. But of course, you guys are going to see the conversation that me and him had, so I'm not going to spoil it too much. But in this video, there's an immense amount of value, not only between just me and him, but for you guys as well. I asked him exactly what made him get out of that beginner phase, what actually motivated him to start the work, what implemented the most, and what kind of changed the most in his agency. A lot of questions that I'm sure you guys could have asked me or have had somebody in your shoes be answering them. And so this is exactly that. So if you are a beginner watching this, or somebody struggling to sign clients, or struggling to scale your first client from 2, 3K a month to over $10,000, $15,000 per month, watch this video. Once again, I just want to say one last time, I'm extremely proud of Grant and how quickly he has come to the place that he is now. I'm sure, in another month, 2 months, 3 months, we're probably going to be doing a 30K a month, 40K a month testimonial video, which is going to be absolutely awesome. But in the meantime, this is the point where we're at. There is so much value inside of this whole call, so don't skip around. If you actually watch the whole flow of the call, you'll understand what made him work so hard as a beginner, why he chose this business model, the issues he was struggling with, how he solved them, what he used to actually solve them, pretty much A through Z. But I'm not going to keep this any longer than it needs to be. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm excited to let you guys hear Grant's story. And other than that, enjoy the talk. All right, my man Grant, welcome back, bro. So for everyone watching, Grant literally joined Fantra, I think literally like 3 weeks ago to this day, like 3 weeks. And I'm gonna let him show you what happened. Grant, where are you kind of at right now? I know you just started OFM, but what are your kind of earnings right now?
So right now I'm at 13K since I started, on track to make 15. I signed a client. My first client was making 4K. We monetized some of our older social medias and implemented chatting, marketing systems, and brought her up to 6K. Just signed another client. She was around 4K too. Brought her up to 7K. And like I said, on track to do 15K or more by the end of the month.
So that's 13K across 2 creators. And when you joined, I mean, you were literally at zero, like fresh in the OFM space. And you were working part-time at a wedding venue, making like what, like a couple $100 a week, right?
Yeah, if that. Especially in the winter, it got really slow. So it's definitely been a big change.
Hell yeah, bro. And now you're on track to hit 15K this month in your first fucking month. That's great, bro. That's great. So like, I mean, tell me, man, like, how does it feel? Like 3 weeks ago, you were worried about paying for the program. Honestly, you were talking to us about how we could maybe delay the payments, and we wondering if you need another job, all this, wondering if it's even worth it for you. And now you're at 13K a month. I mean, like, what's different? How do you feel, bro?
Dude, it's been crazy. Like you said, I mean, I was stressing about even paying for the program and got in there, honestly just grinded, put my head down, and it's been completely different. I don't even know what to do. I mean, I've just, put my head down like I said, and I'm here.
100%. I mean, no, you fucking like, you were one of the few guys who genuinely put belt to ass. Like for everyone like who's watching right now, Grant is somebody that was in every single call. I don't remember a call that you weren't inside of. You were the main guy asking questions in every single call, taking advantage of the support tickets, really just doing what the program was meant for. And, you joined 3 weeks ago. I mean, kind of walk everyone through like what exactly happened because, most people, they'll spend 6 months, bro. I mean, me and you both kind of know people spend 6 months stuck on cold outreach, not signing one. And, you signed 2 creators, but I know you had fucking options. Like you were rolling with the creators. So like how, bro? Kind of explain that to me.
Yeah, bro. So I mean, it was honestly, so I joined. I had probably done. I mean, I really found out about OFM probably a week before I joined Fantra, and my DMs were shit, and I joined. I implemented your DM systems, everything you teach, and the calls. I mean, it helped a ton, and being able to get in contact with you. So started DMing. I had two accounts, DMing 30, 40 times a day on each account, and like you said, I mean, I had options. I got to the point where I was having to tell creators to wait a couple of weeks, and having to make up stories about trying to figure out which creator to sign. So I mean, it completely changed the game.
Yeah, I mean that's fucking nuts. And you also did, I know like obviously this isn't a method for a lot of guys that they can do, but you also did dating apps outreach as well, right? You signed one creator off of that?
I did, yeah, because I mean, you can do as much as you're allowed. So on Instagram, I started getting these notifications that I had hit my limit for the day, and so I just kept going. I was like, what else can I do? Went on dating apps, started doing outreach, and yeah, like you said, I got one client off of that.
Bro, that's fucking fire. Like the fact that you say, what else can I do? There's so many guys that'll just do like the bare minimum and think they're doing so much. And I really do live by the quote, like winners do everything that they can do and still feel like they're doing enough. And still feel like they're not doing enough. And the guys that end up staying stuck for like 6 months, 12 months and end up hating the business model, they do the bare minimum and expect great results. But you didn't walk in with those expectations. So I guess like what was the biggest thing that clicked for you, bro? Because before you joined, you told our team that you were struggling to find those quality leads that were actually wanting to work and actually had good creators to commit to calls at least. Like what kind of
Yeah.
changed since then?
So, I mean, really, and like I said, it's all been it's super valuable to have your exact systems to work with because like you said, like I had nowhere to go. Like no, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what creators to look for, but in your modules, talking about what type of creators to look for, how to work in the DMs to get them on that call, and that's where I was messing up. I didn't know where to move once I got a response, things like that. And so, I mean, literally from A to Z, bro, it all clicked once I got on because you have your sales call module that I mean I have 100% close rate right now, and it's like, and that's on probably 8 calls. So I mean it's clicked, everything's clicked, man.
That's impressive, bro. And like you say, the second that you fix those things, boom, fucking two
Yeah.
creators just right there and then in 2 weeks. And that's what I'm talking about, bro. That's impressive. And you didn't, like you said, you didn't sit on those modules for a month watching them and just trying shit. Like you implemented immediately the second you saw them. When I gave you my advice, I saw you working immediately. And most people they watch those videos and they don't do shit, just like they do with YouTube and all of these other things. So now you got two creators. You're managing content, chatting, marketing, everything. Before joining, I know you knew like the OFM basics, but didn't know how to scale after onboarding. Like you got a model, what do I do from that point on? So what kind of changed, after we built those systems in place, like the marketing, having everything in place, the chatting system, like what was kind of the eye opener for that?
Yeah, I mean, thing is, all the gurus on YouTube, everything, they give information, but they don't go in depth. They don't give you everything you need. And so it just being in the course, being in the mentorship, I guess, is or consulting, it gives you the opportunity to genuinely see what works. And so the chatting scripts you have, everything like that, your competitor research, I've been running all of that. And I mean, each creator just boomed. And like I said, they had previous Instagram accounts, things like that, but we worked with that instead of just kind of letting that sit in the background and already scaling. So which is all stuff I had no clue about before I joined.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. And I remember during our onboarding call, I told you, do not try and figure this out on your own. Like, you have resources in place, there's modules, there's all the information, but there's also, access to me. And so my biggest thing was, send those support tickets, like everything, every question you have, every issue you have. How helpful was that for you?
Dude, it's been great, and I mean, I'm sure I annoy you. I'm sure you check your Discord every day and see a ticket, but I mean, super helpful. You've gotten back quick every time, and it's it's not like I'm having to take time out of either of our day to hop on a call real quick, but it gets answered every time. I get those Loom videos, things like that. get your experience and your information back. And it's been great.
Sick, bro. Sick. And then, that's the thing. A lot of courses they just give you 10 hours of bullshit videos and
Right.
expect you and they disappear on you at the end of the day. And you got direct access to me and my team. You send a ticket, you get an answer, you get a response. And I really do think that's what scaled you fast was, having those answers because you did have a lot of beginner questions where I'd be like, oh shit, like this guy's completely new. But then, you got the answer and you didn't just sit on it, you actually implemented it and the results speak for themselves. I know you mentioned us in the start as well that you didn't know how to market creators properly. Like that was something that you were also struggling with or curious about how to once you got to that point. Didn't know what content worked, how to test verticals, how to make sure what you were posting were actually working, the tracking. What kind of changed after we dialed that in, bro?
I mean, it started, you're not just shooting shots in the dark anymore. Like, with your systems, it's the competitor research. You know that something's going to work at some point. You're posting the 10 videos a day of each type of content, and I've been able to dial it in with each creator to where we have, one or two types of content that we know works. So, we're still testing other verticals, but we have content to go, fall back on that's always going to get us views and always going to bring in traffic.
Yeah, like you kind of know what to double down on, what to throw away, not just stick posting the same thing for
Right.
ages.
Completely.
100%. So I gotta ask, before joining, I know that you were kind of skeptical as fuck about programs, like the whole thing. You didn't want to get scammed, obviously, like we all do. You'd seen the fake gurus online. This niche is flooded with them. What made you, I'm curious, bro, like what made you pull the trigger on Fantra?
Honestly, so I mean, it's hard to get an access with some of these creators, especially YouTube guys, and also I feel like some of them have gotten out of touch with what it feels like to be a beginner and kind of the way you carry yourself, the way you talk on your YouTube videos even brought me in because and I've seen it firsthand being in the course like you know what it's like to be in that beginner spot. We talked on the last call about, your experience and your whole upbringing in the OFM space. And so that's what made you stand out. But also, I got on my first call with Michael, and that was my biggest question: is am I actually going to get access to people that have done this? Am I going to get access to Griffin? Because, like you said, there's a lot of courses where they just say, buy the course, watch 10 hours of videos, and never talk to me. But you've been very active. I always see you working on the Discord. Active. You've answered all the questions, so that's what separated is I get direct access compared to just sitting and watching videos. And if I have a question, there's nowhere to go.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool, cool. And did you try, I don't know if this is kind of obvious or not, but did you try any other oven programs before joining this?
No.
No. Okay. I mean, yeah, like kind of like you said, most courses they're literally designed to take your money. Like this isn't a course, this is, consulting. You get access to me, you get access to what I do, over the past 2 years, everything that I've implemented. I think that's also like a good help for like, you guys have access to the same SOPs before I even started my YouTube channel that I was using, that I was, editing, constantly working on this, that, and the other. Okay, cool, bro. So you've been in Fantra for 3 weeks. You've gone from zero, like zero in every aspect, to 13K a month. What from the program feel like, it helped you the most? So like what are the specific things that took you from, doing that part-time wedding venue thing to actually getting to 13K a month in 3 weeks? Like I'm even curious about what specifically helped you.
So I mean, it's all obviously just a bunch of gears that build the same system. But I think the biggest things for me have been the onboarding process, what to do, when you have that creator ready and how specific you get with that, the acquisition process, and finally the chatting, the scripts, because a lot of people talk about marketing and I guess you could learn it on YouTube. I mean, not your methods and the way that it's worked for me, but the GFE stuff that you've helped me out with, the chatting, things like that. Like you can't find the type of resources that we get from you anywhere else. And so I think that's been huge for me. And also it feels as if, you're going through the process with me, the Instagram accounts, things like that. I send you in a screenshot and, you run over it. You tell me, yo, this looks good. This looks like shit. And you're honest with me. But it's like, you're not you're willing to go through that process with me and with everybody in the consulting group. And so I think that's all been huge.
I love that, bro. And, you didn't, like I said earlier, you didn't just sit on the modules and watch them. You actually implemented. You sent the tickets, you asked the questions, you stayed locked in, you showed up. And that's the difference between you and, most guys that stay stuck for real. All right, bro. Well, last few questions here. I gotta ask, kind of like, what would you tell somebody watching this? Maybe the viewer watching this who's stuck with OFM. Maybe they're also starting. And to be frank, I don't usually like to take on a bunch of beginners, and that's why I think me and Grant both decided that the one-on-one, the exact one-on-one, obviously we're gonna be working one-on-one in the future, but the exact one-on-one program that I have wasn't really the right match, just because we waste a lot of time with just one-on-one, especially in the beginning. But now that you are at the point that you are, you actually implemented what was told. You definitely, we're going to be working one-on-one soon. But like I was saying, what would you kind of tell somebody watching this in OFM if they're stuck and doesn't know if they should join?
I think the biggest thing is take action. So many people, and there's even, I've seen a couple people in the Discord, the free stuff. It's like you're not taking action. You can watch as many videos as you want. You can learn it till you're a genius in OFM. But if that takes a year and you don't take action, none of it matters. And so you have to just start, because I didn't know shit, but I started. I learned along the way. I'm allowed to go back and look at those modules, go back and look at the things we've talked about, and it's all about just getting off your feet and just starting, even if you're not a master at it yet. That's the best way to learn.
Facts, 100%. And for somebody kind of like on the other end of it, maybe who bought a shitty course before and got burned, got scammed by one of these other OFM gurus or whatever, what would you say to them?
I would say that, if you have a bad ex-girlfriend, you're not going to stop looking for a girlfriend. And so this is different. I have buddies that have joined other OFM courses, and they have all told me their experiences, and I compare it to mine and I tell them about mine, and they're all looking to get into. One of them joined your free group recently and is looking to get into the paid group, and it's like, this is a different experience. You're working through things with us. You're not just, like we've said a couple of times, you're not just throwing information at us and hoping it sticks.
Yeah, facts. And look, I'll say this, Grant joined 3 weeks ago. He was skeptical about the programs. He didn't want to get burned, understandably, but he still pulled the trigger, and immediately started implementing everything. Sent support tickets, gave him everything, used that information, and locked in, signed 2 creators in 2 weeks. More or less could have had 5 creators, but we both decided that was not the best option to start with a bunch of creators. I'm a big guy on scale 2 or 1 vertically as much as we possibly can. So we're looking to get these creators in the next few months, 20, 30, 50K a month. And now he's at 13K a month, on track to make 15. Probably next week, if you have a good chatting week, he'll be at 15. And he had access to the inbound model marketplace, even though you didn't really need it, if that is something in the future maybe. But this is what happens when you actually implement, instead of just watching videos like everybody else does. And so I appreciate you coming on, Grant. Let's get you to 30K a month next. We'll have a little updated case study for sure. What do you think about that, bro?
Bet that, bro. Just let me know.
100%. And guys, if you are looking to start or scale your OFM agency, make sure you click the first link in the description. It's the same link that Grant probably clicked way back 3 weeks ago. Join completely free Discord. You can see exactly, kind of who I am, what I do. We're starting to do live weekly Friday calls in there now. That's going to be sick. I think Grant's even going to be joining up in there, as well as a free course. But yeah, other than that, boys, that's it. Peace. And Grant, I appreciate you, dog.
Later, bro. Appreciate you.
All right, so that has been Grant's entire story, a short one of that. Now, it's only been 3 weeks for this guy. I literally cannot fucking wait until it's like 2 months, 3 months, 4 months from now. I am genuinely so excited to see how far he goes. And like again said in the video, he doesn't even have the full one-to-one program with me. He has done this all through group coaching, but I will say, taking advantage of the opportunities and the levers at hand, you basically have direct one-to-one access with me. Between the support tickets, the weekly calls, if you take advantage the same way Grant did, there is no reason at all why you shouldn't find success. But I wanted to end this video off by basically saying, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that you got some value from it. If you did, drop a comment. Let me know if you enjoyed it. If not, if so, let me know below. But other than that, if you are somebody who is wanting to scale past their first 5, 6, 7K per month, just like Grant did. Or if you are a complete beginner, and I will preface, I do not necessarily love working with beginners because they usually think this business model is a lot more simple than it actually is. And because they think it's simple, they think it is easy. But let me be the first to tell you that this business model isn't easy. Is it simple? Yes, very much so. You can make serious money online by not doing that much work. But at the same time, that is one of the main reasons of why it is so difficult. But if you are somebody who wants to take this seriously, put in 10x levels of action, and genuinely strive to make money with this business model, click the first link in the description. It'll take you to a completely free Discord community, the same one that Grant joined into, where you have access to free Notion databases, SOPs, and an entire free course. Plus, I do live weekly calls every single Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern time inside of that community, giving out tons of free sauce only for you guys. There's literally no reason why you shouldn't join up inside of that community. It's free calls, free value, ask live questions, and I will answer them live for you guys. But if you guys are seriously wanting to take it to the next level, if you are dedicated and genuinely taking OFM serious, there's also a place inside of that community to upgrade into the Fantra private consulting, to not only get access to myself, but also the Fantra operating system, the same exact systems that Grant has, and I provide everyone with inside of that consulting that run my $250K a month agency. Other than that, boys, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope that you learned something. As you guys know, all of those free resources will be down in the description below for you to check out. But other than that, I appreciate you watching. It's been Griffin. I'll see y'all boys in the next one, and peace out.